Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2023 and another part of this union-saint-gilloise series where we have had a surprisingly busy end to the January transfer window. So at the end of the last episode we'd sold Dennis Eckhart for nearly $500,000. We'd also let Gustav Nielsen go to Malmo for $500,000, so we brought in £1 million of money already. But then a major sale was Loic Lapoussin, who'd been in and out of the team a bit. He was unhappy, asked to be transfer listed. He did play quite well for us, but a lot of those coming as substitutes, those appearances. So not quite as impressive as it looks, even though it's impressive to get a 7.28 rating just from substitute appearances. But we got £5 million for a player signed on a free. That feels like a bargain to me. He's gone to Watford. I don't think he's going to do particularly well there in terms of getting game time, at least. He's had one appearance in the Championship so far. But £5 million cash up front was absolutely amazing for us. And then Victor Boone also left. He didn't play very much. He was a centre-back, 2 games. He's had 2 games for Ostend, 7 games for us. So that was, again, even more money brought in. So about £6.5 million brought in the end, which was pretty good going. And rather than go and make any big transfers, I thought it's time for a big push towards the title. So we've gone for 4 loan signings here. The first one, Nanu. He is a winger, plays down the right flank, also a right back. He gives us a bit of options because we're quite light on the right side of the pitch. So he'll do a good job for us. On loan from Porto. Played quite a lot for FC Dallas on loan from Porto, so I think that's a pretty good outcome for us. He's been around the Portuguese league most of his career. We also signed Daniel Iverson from Leicester, back up to Danny Ward in real life. Didn't play much in the Premier League, but he's joined us and already started playing as well. Then we brought in William Troost-Ekong from Watford, a really good centre-back, definitely one of the best centre-backs in this league. He was in the Championship with Watford, had been there, but has played in the Premier League, played a lot in Serie A just a few years ago. So I'm hoping we can get him back to his best. He also had a little stint at Ghent, a couple of seasons on loan before being sold for nearly £1 million. So I feel like he's a really good loan signing. And then finally, Ryan Yates, probably the most impressive one that we've brought in. He's come in on loan from Nottingham Forest, Premier League team, where he actually has played a few games for them as well. So he's a massive jump up for us in on loan. Only $12,500 a week that we're having to pay in wages for him. That money really going a long way. I sort of picked the loan signings based on who had the lowest wages rather than just the best players. But he's an excellent player to bring into the team. And you can see since the last episode where we just scraped past Antwerp for a 4-3 victory, we have really been in impressive form, and you'll notice we've also stopped conceding goals, and that might have something to do with a change in tactic. But the first game after the last episode was a 1-0 victory, quite a fortunate one. I had forgotten to turn off the get stuck in instruction on the last tactic, and Cameron Puertas took that to heart by getting a red card, straight red card. But luckily Teddy Seyouma scored a penalty that we got from quite an innocuous challenge in the box, and we were quite lucky to see that game out 1-0. We then beat OHL 4-0, a very impressive performance for us, with Teddy Seyouma, Ragnar Klavan, Jose Rodriguez and Victor Boniface all scoring in the first half for 4-0. We beat Charleroi 1-0, Bart Newcoup with the goal there. And then the last game was a 5-1 smashing at Zult Varegem as we brought all these new players in. Ryan Yates scored 8 minutes into his debut. Olsen got his first goal for the club. Muller got one. Klavan got his second for the club since joining, and Victor Boniface finished it off. A really impressive team performance, it has to be said. And we are now 5 straight wins in the Jupiler Pro League, which puts us 1 point clear of Club Brugge, who are our opponents today. Now, it's worth noting one of the casualties of all of the signings that we've made and players going out is that Austria Vienna might be a difficult tie just because we only have 17 players registered for the competition. So we might be relying on youngsters, having to hope players don't get too injured if we're going to make progress. But the main thing for me was making sure that we had a good push at the title so that we can go straight into the Champions League group stage next season and get all the money that goes with it. So it has to be the league title that we push for this season. Speaking of which, it is time to take on Club Brugge. You can see the way we're lining up. We've got Müller back from injury on the left flank. He supports Boniface alongside Van Zer on the right side of the pitch. And then also supporting them in midfield, we have Tayuma and Yates with Van der Heyden just behind them. Then Olsen, Klavan, Troost-Ekong and Newcoop in defence with Iversen in goal. And you can see I've got my wish. 4 new names in that back 5 defensive unit. Only Bart Newcoop on the right, who I'm happy to keep there, still remaining in the team. Nanu on the bench for this one as well. And we get to go into this one feeling pretty confident that we've got a much better team than Bruges. They do still have a really good team there, but I just don't think it's as good as ours. So I'm going to tell the team to carry on where they left off last time and see if we can go out and open up a 4-point lead at the top of the league. But Casper Nielsen puts the ball in and it's gone in. Brandon Michel with the goal, and Club Brugge already have taken the lead. So my optimism quickly evaporates. Nielsen in there, Michel. That's the kind of goal from a corner that we score. We don't often concede from corners, but that is what has happened here. Now, can we come back? It's a nice pitch design they've got here, Club Brugge. Ball in behind from Müller's beautiful, and Boniface has somehow missed the target. He has to be scoring there. That was such a good ball for Müller. But it shows we're as dangerous as Club Brugge are. But at the moment, they're one up in terms of taking chances. But another ball in behind for Boniface to make amends. And this time he does. We are back on level terms. 8 minutes gone and we could already be 2-1 up. There we go. Boniface with an excellent finish there. It was Bart's ball in behind, which was sensational. That's why he's still in the team. But Boniface got in there. And what a finish that was past Vutsov in the Bruges goal to make it 1-1. Now we need to push on from there. We've been the better team in the early stages with the possession and the XG on our side. And at the moment, we are maintaining our 1-point lead at the top of the table. But given the way that the league splits and the points total gets halved when the playoffs begin, I want to build up a bit of a gap at the top if we can. And here's Bart into Yates. Ball over to Van Zer in a dangerous position. And it's saved by Vutsov. The other thing, obviously, with the mini-league is because you play all your rivals. We need to be beating teams like Bruges away from home as Masson puts it in. Gets the ball back from Olsen, who he tries to intercept again. And that's gone in. Roman Yaramchuk with the finish. 3 times we had an opportunity to get rid of that ball, and 3 times we failed to do so. The first one, Masson's ball in, Olsen won it but couldn't clear it. Masson again put it in for Olsen to get there, but he didn't deal with it. And then the ball in, neither Iversen nor Ekong able to get to it and stop the ball from going in the back of the net. So we really let ourselves down a little bit there, and those clean sheets that we've been building up, not holding true at the moment as half-time approaches, and we are 2-1 down. Let's see if we can inspire the team. I might switch to the old tactic if we're still losing around the hour mark, but I do trust this tactic to serve us quite well. Here's Van Zer with the ball. Now Ekong to Van der Heyden. Ball over the top is easily dealt with by Bruges. Silla to Endoram. Yaramchuk trying to spread it wide and finds Masson. Müller gets the tackle but can't keep the ball. How many times is that going to happen today as Yaramchuk gets in? Unfortunately for us, has pushed that one wide of the post. And I feel like we're losing our grip on this game. We're already a goal down now. I feel like we might need to make a change. Let's see how this highlight goes. Yates, ball goes in. Silla gets it away. Boniface is fighting for it. Goes out to Müller and he's headed it straight at Vutsov in goal. Let's see if the highlight ends there, and then we'll make the change to the tactic. Ball's gone forward. Ekong finds Van der Heyden. Yaramchuk just benefiting from so much sloppy play, but Müller now in behind on the left, and he's put that over the bar, which to me is a sign to switch up the tactics. We're going to have to sacrifice Van der Heyden to do this, but it means we can bring Lazar back into the team. See if he can rediscover his early season form, because he was scoring a lot of goals for us early on, and that sort of dried up a bit around the time that we were forced to switch tactics. Now Jutgla has got it. He finds Derek Boyada. Ball just given away to Ekong. Bart trying to play that down the line for Van Zer, but Christiansen steps across. Klavan does the same in defence for us. Teuma to Müller. Boniface making the run in behind. Goalkeeper has come out to claim it though. Vutsov then launches it forward. Ekong's header to Yates. Now Van Zer. Bart. Back to Ekong. Can we get this ball forward? Klavan plays it out wide to Bart. He's got Van Zer making the run. And again, those two just not quite linking up. But this time they do. And Boniface is in there to finish it out of nothing. A huge mistake by Brugge. And we have managed to make it 2-2 here in the second half. It was Newcoop who put the ball in behind, but it didn't work out. Christensen stopped it, but gave it to Van Zer. And what a first-time ball that is from Van Zer, who finds Boniface to make it 2-2 on the night. Can we get a third goal now? We've changed the tactic. It does leave us vulnerable in defence, but we're already conceding with the old tactic. And here's Ndoram, and Kong wins it, but again, we failed to clear our lines. Beata puts it in. Bart gets it out. We don't win the second ball once more. And Yaramchuk again with a finish has managed to score. And I'm genuinely so frustrated at these mistakes. And somehow Yaramchuk makes the most of every single one of them. And it's another goal for Club Brugge and Yaramchuk. Very frustrating that we just haven't dealt with a single one of those chances. And there he was to finish it past Iverson. And we are now 3-2 down. And we really need to make a push here. We're a very in-shape team at the moment. We should have reserves in the bank to keep fighting. I've got pretty much my strongest team out here, so there's not a lot of changes I want to make. We can bring Nanu on maybe, see if he can do anything in the last few minutes. We've got a free kick. Teddy Teuma over the ball. Has he got glory on his mind? Or will he play the ball into the box? He goes for goal and it's over the top. Not the best effort there. And the last few minutes of time wasted by substitutes from Club Brugge. And they do get a really, really big victory in this title race. And again, we have failed to close down Brugge or maintain our lead at the top. And they move 2 points clear. We're 4 points clear of the teams below us. But we've got a lot of work to do. And next up is Austria Vienna in the Europa Conference League knockout stages. We have got a lot of kids on the bench for this one. We only had 4 substitutes if I didn't promote players from the bench. So we'll see how this works out today against Austria Vienna. A couple of players needing numbers for this one. I think more than that in reality. But let's have a look at how we're lined up. We've got Iverson in goal. He is registered. Bart and then Kandus alongside Klavan and Olsen. Van der Heyden in defensive midfield with Yates, Teuma, Müller, Adringa and Boniface, the attacking line. I think we should be winning this game. Austria Vienna not the strongest side in this competition, but they are a decent team. But Adringa with the ball, and he has scored very early on. We are at home for this one, and he has made it 1-0, despite the different stadium. Of course, we play our European games in a different stadium because our home ground is not good enough. It doesn't have the corporate facilities required, and Adringa there with a beautiful bending goal to make it 1-0 here against Austria Vienna. And we're the first team to score at this stage of the competition. Some big teams in there, Bodo Glimt in there, Braga in there. It's not an easy competition, but it's certainly not as difficult as maybe the Europa League was. I think any of those teams we could beat over 2 legs. And we are currently beating Austria Vienna, which is the main thing today. The team seems to be holding up well. We're keeping our defensive line pretty strong. Adringa's got a knock though. The ball goes in. It's cleared away. Müller can't win it. It's with Holland. Back to Mui. Ball goes into Dovenden, but it is dealt with. Now we do need to make a change. Now I want to make sure I don't bring on any old person to take this position. I don't have a huge amount, so I'm going to just leave him on because he's not that unfit. Fits with the ball in, cleared away from the corner, and Adringa there does deal with it, showing he's not that injured as he puts it into touch. So I'm going to ignore that advice for now and leave Adringa out there because in the league we have other players that can play in that position that just aren't registered here today. Olsen to Klavan. Now Teuma to Adringa. Back to the keeper, Iverson. Van der Heyden to Kandus. Now Bart on the right side. We're playing it well, finding the space. He tries to pick out Müller, and Bart's forward balls in that position have been terrible the last couple of games. Ball goes over the top, and Dovenden has dealt with it well, and he's beaten Iversen as well. And it's now 1-1. And that all goes back to Bart's terrible ball forward. He was doing it to Van Zer in the last game. He's done it again here. And this time we've been exposed. Holland's ball over. Dovenden onside as he got between Olsen and Klavan. And then he finished it past Iversen as well. Really good movement and finish from him. But really we shouldn't be conceding goals like that. As we head towards the halftime whistle, we're also not really creating much, which for our home game is a little bit disappointing. So I think it's fair to say, bear in mind we were leading 1-0 for quite some time, given we've been pretty poor in this half. We've got a way to develop, but Fitz here with the corner for Vienna. It's cleared away. Bart tries to get it further out, but he's kept the pressure on us here. And now Fitz to handle, and it's just wide of the post. We might want to think about changing the tactic to the more aggressive one. With the way things are going at the moment, we're just not creating chances, so we're going to have to do something here. Let's swap these tactics around, go for the attacking midfield role, which means Van der Heyden needs to come off, and I think we'll bring Lazar on in the attacking midfield position, and then see if that inspires a little bit of change. I'm also going to demand some more from the team, because it feels like we're being massively outplayed. We've got the possession though, it's the creating chances that's the problem. But here's Lazar to Olsen, it's in, and Müller does finish it. Only his 5th goal of the season. He hasn't been a prolific finisher, and he has been struggling with injuries this year, but he got the goal there when we needed it most. The change in tactic working pretty much straight away. Olsen there drilled it in, and Müller found the gap between the players in front of the goal to make it 2-1, and we can be pretty happy with that. About 20 minutes left to go. Adringa is struggling in that left wing position as the ball goes forward. Fits to Dovenden, now Raguse. Plays it out wide to Teagle. He plays it in. Oh, it's off the post and in. Manfred Fischer with the goal. Not ideal from us there, as they managed to bring one back. Raguse played it out to Teal on the right side, and then his ball in. Look at the huge gap we left their players to attack with our deep defensive line. And of course, they were going to make the most of that. It was a great first-time finish, but he definitely could have taken a couple of touches before finishing that one. Now, Olsen on the attack down the left. Switches it to Müller on the right. Comes to Bart. And he finds Lazar this time. Now Müller, tackle, ball's given away. Kandus has it. Held up. Iversen to Klavan. Iversen once more. Plays it out wide to Olsen. He puts it over the top, and Boniface has the beat of the defender, and he's managed to score as well. 39th goal for Boniface. Surely we can't hang on to him in the summer. He must be on his way out. He's nearly at 40 goals for the season, and he's done it here. Olsen with the brilliant ball in behind, using Boniface's pace as he got ahead of Mühl, and then managed to get the finish off before Egger could properly close him down. And it is now 3-2 to us in this game. We're going to have to take off Yates as well. He's struggling with injury, but at the moment we're still in control of this game. 10 minutes left to go. Can we create anything else as time slowly ticks down towards a full-time whistle? This will be a big win for us if we can see it out. Into the last minute of added time, and there we go. A 3-2 victory. Not the kind of gap that I would have wanted. Maybe 2-0, 3-0 was what I was thinking in my head. But a win is a win, and we can take that to Vienna and hopefully get another result that will see us go through to the next round. Now, I'm not actually planning to show that return leg because I thought we'd win this game more comfortably than we did. So let me know in the comments if you're desperate to see that. Otherwise, I will jump ahead to probably the Genk game and the next round. I'm pretty sure we're going to go through. It will be embarrassing if we get knocked out in that game. But then I don't know if you really want to see it if we get knocked out anyway. So let me know down below what you think about that. Drop a like on the video if you're enjoying this series. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. But until next time, see ya.